Hello and welcome back to Newhouse Esports Update. Now this week I had been intending on continuing my series of going through the various genres of esports and eventually ending on the single player genre. However, some very interesting news just was released on Wednesday that I just cannot ignore. On Wednesday, March 1st, the Olympics released this statement on Twitter announcing the launch of the Olympics Esports Series, the first of its kind. Starting in Singapore in June of this year, this will be the first time that the Olympics will host any kind of esports event. Now, this is massive because any other attempt to bring esports to the Olympics, whether that's an exhibition sport or even just in general, has been immediately shot down and disregarded. So the fact that now the Olympics are starting something is massive for the community. Now, initially when the tweet was sent, it was hit with a little bit of backlash, since many people were pointing out the corporate entity that doesn't really know how to relate to the youth with the phrase, "Your e-time has come." Ugh. However, the biggest announcement was in the subsequent tweet, where they announced the lineup of the various games, and in particular, esports, that were going to be played at this Olympics Esports Series. These included dance, motorsport, baseball, tennis, chess, totaling 9 individual sports that were going to be played in this virtual setting. And the games that these esports were going to be played on included Tennis Clash, Just Dance, Gran Turismo, Chess.com, and many others. Now, like many others, my initial reaction was, really? Those are the games that you're choosing? Why not some of the bigger ones like Rocket League, League of Legends, Call of Duty, some of the giants that are dominating the esports industry right now? And so many other diehard esports fans were thinking the same thing as me. Why on earth would you choose these ones over some of the bigger ones? And then I took a second to really think about it, and I realized this truly is the best thing that the Olympics can do to introduce esports to the general population across the world. And here's why. Over 14 episodes and about 5 months of content, I have gone over the different genres of esports, how different teams and organizations work, and even how some of the teams were doing during some of the biggest tournaments across the world. And though I did my best to describe exactly how some of the bigger esports worked, it all came down to the same general problem. It's really hard to describe some kinds of games because they're just really complicated, and they capture a different sort of audience than the typical viewer of the Olympics. Die-hard esports fans that have spent years and years following teams like Cloud9 and Fnatic, they're really well versed in the world of esports, in the world of video games like Rocket League and like Call of Duty. So those sorts of things are pretty simple to them. The concepts of video games and playing video games on a competitive level make sense in their minds. And those same fans are a little bit upset that their favorite esports aren't being included in the Olympics Esports Series. Now, would I love to see games like Call of Duty or League of Legends or Dota 2 played at an Olympic level? Absolutely. World Cup events and Olympic events where you represent your country are some of the biggest that sports has to offer, and the esports community would thrive in an Olympic setting. Now, note I said a very important thing there, the esports community. The esports community would absolutely love an internationally based competition where teams would be playing for a gold medal instead of a yearly trophy. But the casual fan of the Olympics is not going to be sold on this. But they are going to be sold on video game competitions of the sports they watch. And that is the reason why I believe that this move by the Olympics is going to bring esports to the world in a way that not many people would have otherwise thought of. If you introduce esports as Super Smash Bros., sure, it's going to be interesting, but not many people are going to watch it as an Olympic event. But if you introduce esports as Tennis Clash, a version of the sport that they grew up watching with athletes such as Maria Sharapova or Rafael Nadal, they're much more likely to watch it. Even though the esports community is growing fast, the esports market is just too volatile and niche to be thrown into the Olympics full force. So instead, the Olympics is opting for the smarter approach in introducing esports as video game versions of the sports that people have already been watching year after year. This allows people to embrace the fact that esports isn't just the niche thing that you can watch online, it's the future of competition. In short, this is a huge step in the growth of esports and one that I cannot wait to see what can possibly grow from it. and I really hope to contribute to it someday because things are only going to go up from here. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Newhouse Esports Update. Next week we'll be finishing up the subgenres of esports and then going into the pro play specifics. Thank you again. See you next time.